Case inside of a mountain with some industrial pipes and some other stuff going on. So I figure, yeah, we'll see what we get with it. It's a vertical shape, which is kind of interesting to do for a filmic aspect ratio, which is, landscape and not vertical. But, we'll see what we get. It could be okay. Um, yeah. So let's get started. Um, bring that up to the origin, and I think it's going to be important for us to have a person for scale on this one, sometimes more than others. But we want to make sure that our spiral, our stair, is, for example, big enough that a person can walk it. Yeah, finish. Great. Wilbur. Hey, Wilbur. Let's delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that. And now we have Wilbur in a cube. All right, Wilbur, let's start. 3. So I'm going to take this and bring it down. I'm just kind of building what I'm going to use as the stair. And GX, and I'm going to make it out. So it's about like, the width doesn't really matter. In fact, we can probably, well, actually, shrink it in a little bit. We're kind of making stairs for the process we're going to do this for. And then let's just do it this way. Bring it up like that. Maybe a bit more. So like that's going to be our stair shape, I think, to start with. And we'll see what we get out of it. Let's see, we go. Okay, so we're going to card ops, and we're going to use the radial array. And we can see already that we're going to need to rotate the thing. RZ minus 90? Let's see if this is how it works. This is a good way to do it. No, it's the other way around. RZ. Okay, that should work. Now we have that in there. I know it looks like garbage. Let's start playing with it. I'm going to make our displace a little bit bigger, so we have a bigger hole in the middle. Let's just take it to 10. And then radial array, we're going to go to relative offset as well. We don't want the 1 and the Z. And now if we increase the count a lot, you start seeing what we get. We get a stairway to heaven. And it's way too much. Just kind of what I was afraid of. But we can adjust it like this till it's almost just perfectly like that. And that gives us, we might not even need that many. 100 is probably a lot for what we're doing. We just want to make sure that there's no holes. 75 seems like we're pretty good. Thank you, Vanchit. I appreciate it. Glad you've watched some. Yeah, so okay, so we have, it doesn't look good yet, but we're starting to get to the shape we want. But we want to make sure that we go up that high. So let's bring it, whoa, it's too much. 0.015, 0.012, 0.013, 0.0135. There we go. That seems pretty close. Make sure my rotation scale is set. All right, so this gives us one loop of something that we could use for a spiral staircase. And because we've measured the ceiling up, we're doing pretty well on that. So I think the first thing we're going to do is apply that loop, because we're going to say that that's good. So Q, apply modifiers. And we're at, yeah, 52,000 tries. That's all right. Now let's remesh, just to bring everything into one piece. Can maybe even bring our voxel size up a bit more. Not that much, but that seems okay. It doesn't really change it. Let's just go with 0.1. We're going to go with the default voxel size. And I just want to see what happens if we smooth it on top like 15 times. That's all right. We're going to have these kind of striations on the walls, but I think that'll be okay too. So let's apply these two things. Apply modifiers. And we still got way too many polys. So let's quad remesh it now. Now that's all one piece. Quad remesh would have, if we had done it without doing the straight blender remesh, would have left all the individual stairs as individual stairs, and we don't want that. But now that's all one piece, let's remesh it. Yeah, and now we have something a little bit smaller and a little bit more in line with what we're looking for. Okay, let's save. Hi, Micah. We're making stone stairs today for right now to start with. Stream, what did I call this one? Oh, industrial cave system. Yeah, you're probably hungry. So this is one loop of a spiral. It's not going to be a stair exactly. We'll call it a spiral ramp, I guess. We started the first loop, and now we should be able to array it. And I know that the walls aren't correct. We're going to fix that later. But there's our, how are we feeling about this? It's too high because it's jumping up. So let's also fix the walls, actually. I can even just do it this way. We'll stay with constant, sure, and bring it down to like that. And a little more. We still have that edge. I wish I'd fixed that. Yeah, well, I guess we can fix it right now. Let's just turn this off and tab. And we're just going to come through here and grab this edge. Oh, just let me grab just that. Come on. I'm going to go from here to here. I'll go to here to here. This is why the quad remesh is great, is because it gives us the ability to actually still deal with something this complicated. Okay, now if we turn it back on, yeah, okay, now we can adjust that height again. Bring it up. So we get a bit of overlap. I need to bring it down too. Okay. We want to keep that overlapping too, like that. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to keep working at it. Tab, and we'll grab this loop here and Alt-E, fizz along normals. Give it a bump. Cool. And then C2, select this loop and scale it. Alt-S. Yeah, scale it in a little bit, just so it doesn't quite have the height. Now we turn this back on. Let's see, are we working? Okay, that does seem better. It does seem like we're getting something. And we're still going to play with it a bit more. Bring it in. And I know it still looks like garbage, and that's fine. We're going to fix it. Let's edit it one more time. And just grab 3 of these. and take it down some. Remeshing is fun, but it can mess with you sometimes. But just to get things so they're not quite so massively high poly is a requirement sometimes. Okay, so when we've got it there, now we should just be able to increase the count now of our array and get us this spiral staircase, which, yeah, looks pretty much right. It's probably a little too, we don't need 25 for the purposes of let's say 15, just so we can do a nice up and down shot and still get stuff, but not completely overblow our polys. Cool. So yeah, all right, we're gonna say that that's good. Let's apply it. Now we could remesh it again. That might not even be a bad idea for this. Let's quad remesh it again, and it's gonna think, boop, 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 boop. And we get something much smoother, which is awesome, but we have these holes. I was afraid of that. Well, I think we can fix that later. The next step, which just means we'll put a sheath around the outside, and that'll be fine too. Okay, save it. And I'm just going to delete the old one so it doesn't get in my way. So we have our spiral staircase, and if we look to where our guy is, where's our dude? Did I delete him? Oh, am I? Yeah. Oh, he's there. So he should fit in our stair if I've done it correctly, and it seems like I have. Yep. So he's on our ramp for our stairway, and this would be how you'd make a car park. You know, if you're making a parking lot spiral stair, this would be something like what you do. You just would probably be a little bit more precise and not want to introduce the things that we're going to, which is all of the bumps, which we're going to do very shortly. We all knew it would be bumps. All right, let's Control A, make sure rotation scale is set, save, and we're going to append our landscape geometry node stuff, same as we've done many times before. I already even had them from when I was playing with last night on my own for something different, but there we go. Geometry nodes and terrain. And it's going to think for a second, and it's probably going to be way too bumpy. That's my guess. But do something, dial it back. Do something, dial it back. It's usually the best way to go. It's thinking. It's thinking. 100K is not a tremendous number of polys for something like this, but hopefully it will work. If it doesn't, we'll have to do this first and then array this. But the reason I wanted to make it arrayed first and then do this is so I get some differences. Yes, and we did, and yes. Okay. Yeah, so see, like each level's not the same, but they are still vastly too bumpy for what we're looking for. So let's go fix it. Geometry nodes. Grab our terrain nodes and check our displacement. And we're going to cut our strength on the cliff sides to like 2. Unfortunately, this is going to take it a little while probably. So I might have should have figured this out first, but oh well. Do 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 do. Come on. And we're we're thinking. And we're thinking. And I'm going to sneeze. Hold on a second. Well, maybe. There we go. That's better for that. Yeah, that's way better. The chaotic version is neat, but I want people to be able to walk up it. So it's still pretty chaotic. It's just on the inside. So I'm not going to sneeze. Let's see. Could play with the scale and stuff too, but yeah, this might work for us. Am I okay with this? Let's look what it looks. Let's see what it looks like with shapes. Or with shapes, with color, with textures. I can speak. Bleh. It's thinking. It is a little bit on the large side. And by a little bit, I mean probably a little too much. Looks cool though. But we are literally at 51 million polys. So perhaps a little bit too much. It did do cool things though. I do like it. What's the best way? Undo history. How far back can I go? Yeah, let's go back to here. It's just a little too big. It happens. It's cool. So we're going to cheat. We're going to do it in groups of, I think, 3 instead of 15. And then we'll array that group. And it'll still have patterns to it, but hopefully it will be enough that we won't see it. And again, we're mostly probably going to be looking across, except when we're doing down looks like that, that will be hopefully far enough away that it'll be all right. Like most of them, we could probably even get away with just 3. But let's try it. 3, apply, and save again. Do I have to re-import? I think I, let's see. Geometry nodes. Yes, I have to re-import. Select those, append. Now, let's remesh first. We hadn't done that yet. Bring it down. Okay. And what's it looking like? That looks all right. That doesn't look overly high poly. And then we can now apply geometry nodes, terrain, and it should be a lot faster. Hopefully speaking. Should be. We did cut it by a factor of 5. So, of course, that means it still might be 10 million polys. It's still huge. It is cool, though. Let's change. I don't think we need quite this level of depth either, so maybe we'll cut it down a little bit more, too. Let's just see. Because that's a lot of detail. It's the kind of things you see when you do a live stream versus a tutorial. You're like, holy shit, that's a lot of polys. All right. It does look cool though. I mean, part of me just wants to keep it and just be like, okay, fine, we'll just use this as our amount and not do a lot more. But let's try one more thing first. Let's just, yeah, let's nuke this. Goodbye. And I'm going to get rid of the old retopo cube. Let's just retopo it. Let's do it again, but let's cut it down dramatically. Say, we're just going to say it's like 500 polys. It won't let us go that small probably. And we'll kill our adaptive size a little bit, remesh it. Oh, I still totally like it too. Don't get me wrong. It's just overkill for what we're using it for. That feels okay to me. I like this. I wish it was just a little bit faster. Let's cut it down just a bit more. Let's try just using a straight old decimate, which will also make it look a little weirder, which could be cool too. So the difference, I will never destroy the Marvelous Chaos node. So quad remesh, we have this beautiful, look at these edges, they're gorgeous. Now we're gonna decimate it and we'll see how god awful it looks. That's only 1700, why is this thing that big? What's this big? I don't know. Let's cut it in half though, just to show you. And then apply, and now they're garbage, but that's fine. Let's delete that. What's this cube? That's just, did I have the original? Something else going on there too? Oh, let's get rid of that. There we go. That might help too. There we go. Yeah, now we have no tries. Let's see if it works. See what we get. Geometry nodes. Terrain. Okay, that's better. That's 2 million. We can live with 2 million easily, and it still looks pretty cool. And it's fast enough that we can actually make some changes and work our shit out, which is what we want to do. Okay, first thing I just want to check to make sure. Let's check the face orientation. Now it's looking good. Okay. See how much faster things are though? It's like, let's bring it back. There we go. Boom. Okay. Save. Geometry nodes. Come back in. And I'm going to take our strength down to 3 here. Oh, it'll still be cool. Don't worry. Like, we could probably do it with 100 polys and it would be cool, quite frankly. Like, it's not a big deal. And scale, if we make it smaller, does it get bigger? I always forget this one. Yes, a little bit that way. Okay. Yeah, that's better. And let's do the same here. Let's bring the scale of our ground down to 1.5. And is that too low? That's all right. That looks, yeah, it looks like a hewn cave. We still got these kind of bumps every once in a while. Let's go look at this way and see. Yeah, that's cool. That's actually a weird bump, but whatever, I'll live. And scale, take this one to 0.03. So let's see, is that too little? Yeah, I think that's too little. I like 0.05. Cool. Cool. All right. I mean, I think that'll do us for what we need. Come back here, save it. And we can array it now if we want to. Maybe I won't just yet though. We do want some external, we don't want these holes. Those holes are a problem. So there's a couple ways we could deal with it. We could just turn this off. So we could come in here and edit it. And I think if we were to select, oh no, because because I've decimated it, we can't do shit to that, which is annoying. Well, kind of, I guess we can. And no, not really. If we hadn't decimated it, it would be easy. Yep, okay, and E down. And then we'll just do the same thing in this next loop. E down. And that should fill us up fine. And let's see what happens if we come back and turn back on our thing. Yep. Holes filled. No problem. Well, mostly. Still got a couple little ones there. Is that the only place? I think that is. Okay, cool. Yes, I see them now. Come here, go in there, and I'm just going to grab these faces. And E. Oh, we haven't filled them all, right? E. This is just such a garbage way to do it, but whatever. It actually adds a little bit more randomness, so that's kind of cool. As long as you can't see the hole, that's really all that matters. This is bad geometry. Ooh, bad. Okay. Hole mostly filled. Got a little bit right there. E and shift hide. Let's do and E. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that filled her up. Gave us kind of interesting little thing too. Now, what's going on there though? Is that just a weird blockage? It shouldn't be there. Oh, that's, what the heck is that? I'll hide. Where did that come from? I didn't do that, did I? Oh, I did by accident probably. Okay. I'll bring it back to there. Messing it all up, but that's fine. Okay. Still no hole. Stairs working all the way around. You get some similarity to those levels, but not a tremendous amount. And I think we're going to fix that when we add more stuff anyway. Save. Cool. All right. So there's the start of our cave spiral system. Now, how to do this next step? So we have the option. I'm going to leave this geometry nodes for right now. We'll apply it probably later, but let's add a array. Do it by manually. Let's do here. Array. And okay, and now we're going up. Good. And our this again, like this is chunky enough that we're starting to be like, why are you putting this many polygons at us? What did we do to you? 3 is probably too little. Yeah, 3 is not enough. 5, 6, 8. Put it off. 8's looking pretty good. 8's too much. So let's see if we can do it this way first. Actually, as I think about it, this might make it easier. Yes, this will probably make it easier. Okay. And bring it down so it lines up. There we go. Now turn it back on. Let's see. reasonably all right. We got a couple of weird places, but it's a cave, so you're allowed to have some weird places. And that should be good. And we can do 3. Is it going to barf on us? 3 seems okay. And there's our cave. All right. And it does it. Ooh, we got a little, nope. We got a little bit of open air. Maybe I'll just fix that. It's because this thing has been distorted, so it's created open air there, but it's all right. I think we'll do it another way. Shift A, mesh, cylinder, bring it back, scale it up to about there. Okay. 3 GZ. So we're going to do 9. That is going to be our limit. Okay. Control A, rotation scale. Shift N, recalculate the normals to the inside. Make sure. Yes, good. X face. X the face. Not in the face, not in the face. Kill that. Okay, now we should be able to just do the geometry nodes. And let's see if we can't just do our terrain on it. And now you've got no problem. Yeah. I mean, it's dark anyway. Like, if we put lights in here, probably is not going to matter. But no, that looks cool. I feel like that is enough space up and down that I can live with it. Up is going to literally be the sky, so we can leave that alone because it's going to be like a dug cave system. Down, I don't know what we'll do with it yet. We still are playing with that. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so now let's see what kind of industrial cool things we can add to this. I did claim industrial cave system, so we have to, truth in advertising and all that. Let's bring up our asset library. And again, I'm going to just move it off to the window just to keep our space here big enough I can see. If it bothers you, let me know. I'll show you what I'm using, but they're just me looking at parts. So it's not really that exciting. Parts is okay, but parts is parts. What was I looking for? That would be remeshing it. So, I mean, polygons are polygons. They literally are the shape of the object. So, like, no, you can't, if I were to export it and bring it back, it would actually have more polygons because right now the array is giving me basically 2 copies of this stuff for almost free. Whereas if I exported it at all, it would actually be worse, not better. There are some options, but mostly you're going to have to remesh it down. Like your polygons are going to be they're the physical geometry space of the object. You've got to have them. You could cheat them. This would be another kind of time where you might want to do a remesh it down to a very low, and then bake the normals so it looks like there's more detail than there is, which is kind of what video games mostly do to get something like this into like a God of War or whatever. It kind of looks like the last God of War's cave. But yeah, you bake the normals, but so there are ways, but they're not straightforward ways, and you got to have some level have some polygons. That's just how it is. Let's say the structure. That's kind of neat. And can make it go like right over the whole thing, down just a bit. Actually, I can go up a bit because we're going to assume that there's and we we can't see on the top. And now down a bit. Let's just scale it up. That's even easier. There we go. We got some kind of a structure on the top. And I mean, we're probably not going to see it most of the time, but there it is. We have a structure on the top. And I want a giant fuck off pipe right down the center of it, I think. That's kind of what my vibe that I'm going with. So do I have a good pre-made pipe or do I need to make my own? Ian has some, but they might be a little too grungy. Is there something in big, medium, small we can use? I mean, otherwise I'll just make one. It's fine, but maybe that could work. Let's see. Thinking, does this work for us? Let's see. Thinking away. That is a big fuck off pipe, which is what we wanted, but I don't need those bottom pieces for it. Let's solo it, see what we can do. Can we get rid of, edit it, Alt Z, B. So let's see what happens if we go to here, Control L, Control L. That's it. No, one more. That and X vertices. Cool. Pipe. Woohoo. RY90. 7G. Bring it right to like the center. And oh, that's a problem. We deleted those things, didn't we? That is a problem. How do we want to fix this problem? We could either not use it, boo, bad idea, or let's see. I want to grab just another kitbashy piece, or I could just make something. But I'll try grabbing to start with. Yeah, that'll work. I think that will work nicely. RX90. Scale it in. Bring it so it covers up that section. And even more. Something like that. Sure. Now, if we Q array to there, how far is that in constants? Try 30 directly and duplicate it. Is it going to just cover those parts? I think it will. I don't think it actually needs to be 30 though. I think 30 is a little high. So I'll just bring it down to like that. Yep, there we go. Cool. Simple way to hide something. I'm all down with that. Save. Let's see, materials. Just need to give it something. Let's go with straight up this and see what it looks like. Probably too bright given those that's dark. Yeah. Let's just try grunge metal. Let's try blunt. Let's see. Try Blender Guppy's thing. It might be still too bright. Ooh, I know what we could do. Can we use this one? Now it's bright, but now it's sort of an accent point going up, and it kind of fits. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. Save that. And just to make my life easier, I'm going to actually apply this array because it's not that much, and join this thing to this thing. So now it's one piece. Turn it back on. And we're thinking, and we're good. We have that covering up that, and that's kind of awesome, actually. Going down. In fact, actually, ooh, yes. Before I do that, let us undo the apply modifier. Come back to here. So now this is still separate. Solo it and edit it. Come in. Let's do some playing with that. Let's take this ring here, inset it. Inset it. We can't go too far because it gets, no, that's good enough. Cool. And then material, add a new one and assign. And cool. I think cool. Add the material. Give it some light. I like the breakup. I like that's. It was not intentional, but it's cool. So we've added that. Got a bit of that going on. And let's unsolo. Maybe do a little bit more to this thing, just to give us some interest. And yeah, let's do a bit more. Come back and edit again. And select this face. Oh no, I can't. That's not a face yet, is it? It thinks it's a face, but it's being tricksy. Well, we could make it a face. Or we'll just use these parts. These would be fine. Select these, those. We're the same here. These, as on the other side. Yeah, so we'll just do them all. It's probably mirrored, but I don't feel like spending the time to find out. So I'll select all those faces. And now if we do an individual inset, cool. Extrude faces along normals. We'll go out this time. And then plus, and make another new material. Assign it, and we'll make it red. We'll make it red. Come on, select. Okay. Color. Cool. There we go. Because it's going to be in a cave, we just got to make sure that we have enough stuff that we add some light and some interest to it. And I think this piece is going to be really helpful for that. Do the same on these parts here. Always be thinking about light, because light really makes your entire scene interesting. If your scene has no light, your scene is going to suck. It is my strong opinion that it's one of the reasons why it is so hard to make a good fantasy movie, is because a good sci-fi movie has light. You can put lights on anything, and there's reasons you can just motivate it by whatever you want to. Whereas fantasy, mostly it's just dorks on horses riding around in trees in forests, and it's much harder to make it look interesting. It can be done. I'm not saying it's impossible, but sci-fi has a huge advantage by being able to throw lighting anywhere you want to at any point and motivate it by something in the story. Yes, that's sexy. And yep, that's working. Actually, don't need those top two, do I? Because it's just going above. Although we might look down at some point, or even just up from above. Well, they're tiny, so we'll leave them in. It's fine. They're not going to hurt anything. Now I'm going to apply them, though, and join them to the sky. Cool. We have something like that. And I think on the other side, I'm going to do the exact same thing with something else. So this again, we'll add more to it this time. And like right there-ish. I'm going to go grab, because it's a light that I love, Ian's beacon, slap it there. And RY90. And cool. And it's just, we're just kind of lining it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be exact, but like there. Cool. And we need to bring it again in a bit to there. And let's vertical array this sucker up. Q array. Wait, where are we going? Control A, rotation scale. Come back to it. Q array. There we go. And we want it to be constant offset of every 5 meters. Maybe every 3 meters. Every 10 feet? Yeah, every 10 feet. Let's go 4 meters. And keep this more. We may have to just adjust it just because I don't want to cut through that thing there. We'll go all the way up. Sure. And then let's GZ and bring it down, just so it's not cutting directly into anything. It's not. Okay. And save. And see. Light disease. Yeah. Those are cool too. I like those. But let's leave them alone for right now. Okay. That's feeling good to me. Save. Come back into our shape. And keep track of our time. We're at 49. We're doing great. Yeah, but the OSHA violations. The OSHA violations. Come on. Gotta have light. Now I want to pick a view where I have one of these things like that. This is, I think, yeah, something like this is going to be my default camera view. Let's maybe set that up right now so we can start thinking about the details. Yes, I like that section. It's got this, it's got this, it's got the lights. Cool. Change our camera to the Alexa, to the anamorphic, and resolution. I am a creature of habit in some things, but gosh darn it, I like my lights. All right, something like that is going to be our shape. Do I still have the, can I see the beacons, or am I off on a beacon? There's got to be a beacon in there if I can't see it. Yep, We got a beacon. We got that thing. So this is going to be our initial camera, I think. Find me some cool fantasy. There's fuck all for good fantasy movies. They all suck. Like I love fantasy, and they don't suck, but they're just not epic. I mean, Wheel of Time, yawn. Game of Thrones, barely fantasy, and yawn for a lot of it. And they get away from the hard parts by putting most of it in cities where they can light stuff. Um, just not a lot of good stuff. I watched, well, in English, The Griffin, like 2 weeks ago, which is German Netflix show based off of a book. And it was okay, but again, lots of indoor stuff and lots of stuff in the modern world. They jump back and forth so they can get some lighting and some interest. Um, I love fantasy. I don't model a lot of it, but that's a different story entirely. Okay. I probably should put some lights inside this thing, but I think it would just be an epic pain in my ass. So, on the basis of, maybe we won't do that. Exposure, eat. Just bring up the exposure in general for this instead. That's better. That's cool. That's that, like, we're getting to movie fantasy lighting. We need to adjust a sky and a bottom though. Just add a base to this thing. Shift A, mesh. Yeah, circle. Sure. Alt G, just make sure the bottom. Scale it to there. GZ. Tab F. Tab. Okay, and we'll give it a material. What materials do we have? We'll give it auto landscape because we don't have any other ones right now. And I kind of like it for this one anyway, so. Okay, yes, we have our ground, which darkens things up a lot, as you would expect, because there's no light coming from the bottom anymore. But we'll add a bit more, and I think we'll probably add some light from people too, and that'll help us. Yes, update the threshold. We could get rid of this too, and that would make it brighter. Let's just see how we feel. Are we making ourselves have more problems than we want? That doesn't really affect it much, and I like having it, so we'll leave it there. And maybe what we'll do on it is we could say, oh yeah, that's what we could do. I'm gonna grab some parts again. Gonna go look at some Kitbash 3D stuff. I'll just tell you where I'm going since I'm not showing you. From the new set, the Future War set, there were some lights that I think, or lamp. That's such a simple prop. I almost feel guilty using it, but we will. I could just make this myself. And you're thinking, and you're loading it in. And come on, come on, work with me here. Come on, Blender. Yeah, okay. We're spinning up the hard drive that it's on. Alt R. And it's just, I mean, like, it's just dumb. It's not big at all. Let's scale it up like that. I mean, again, I could easily have made this thing, but Alt G. Maybe I'll radial array it just for fun. Q, mesh tools, radial array. Like that. Okay. GZ. Bring it up to like there. Cool. And RZ, rotate it just so nothing's touching. GZ, bring it up a bit more. And just we have some theoretical lights pointing down in on our thing. And they're not doing much yet. So I'm gonna solo this. And let's see if we can edit it a bit. E. Okay. E. Let's just look at turn these on so I can see what I'm doing. Yep, there we go. E. There we go. Got a ring. And turn it off now so I can see it. Just the one. Cool. And let's take these two parts, inset them. Down. SC0. And unsolo it. Where'd it go? Okay. Cool. That works for me. Up a bit. I've got this. Oh, I like that hole inside too. That's neat. Cool. Now, let's turn off this just for the moment so I can see what the heck I'm doing. And 7. I want to make a bunch of lights or just fake it. Yeah, let's make some lights. We'll see how it goes. Shift S1, Shift A, mesh, or not mesh, light, spot or area. I'll go with area. Scale it up. And GC, bring it way up to my lights level. Just select those two things and solo them. Okay, there we go. And I'm not going to worry too much about matching it to the thing. Let's just put it there, and then Alt D. Alt D. You can go absolutely nuts making sure you're like, oh, my lights line up perfectly with their emitters, and like it doesn't matter for this one, I don't think. And if it does, I'll fix it later. And power, let's make it 500. I don't even know if that'll be enough to show us anything, but let's start. Unsolo it. I got a lot of light now coming down. Yeah, that's good. That feels like it's like, oh yes, we have some massive spotlights coming down into the space, which we do. Let's just switch out our HDR. We can literally use anything at this point because we're not going to be looking up at it. Got a nice open plane. Sure, we'll use this one with clouds. And let's see what we got. We look up, because we probably will do a lookup at some point. Cool. Yep, I like it. Okay, so where are we at? And what do we want to do? We've got about a half hour left, and we've been kicking butt. What is that, and why is that lit like that? Is that my? That's my. What is that? Interesting. I just want to check something. Tab A. Alt E on normals. Let's bunch it out. Cool. And then A, S, Shift Z, and bring it in. Okay. Nothing, so we're not getting any sky from anywhere, right? That's the big thing. I don't want any sky leaking in through holes in the side. Yep, that fixed that. No leaky skies. Okay. Now, we don't have any railings or anything like that on this thing, and I don't think we're going to. So let's just be clear. Oh, that's bothering me, though. Is it the same? Well, I'm going to say these two should be yellow painted. Is that better? Yes, that's better. Maybe we won't change the other ones unless they bother me. Okay. So we're not going to do any plant life in this one. I think this is going to be kind of a it's like a mine, basically, So we could tweak the material. We need to add some people, probably. Maybe let's add some people first. Big, medium, small. Industrial people. Because this is, if you can't use an industrial person in a mine, really, when can you? Let's come back to our location and just set that there so I know where the heck we are. Okay. No, it's this one. Yeah, okay, so this is where we want to put a person walking. Let's see if we got it right. He's too big. Well, I mean, he's going to have to duck if he's standing there. That doesn't mean he's too big, but that space there is not made for him. We can move him, though. Still see him there. Yep. And turn it back on. Cool. Yeah, just having a couple of people is really going to help this, I think. That one's good. I almost want to put like someone like hanging down here on like a sling on the side of this thing, but it would really draw attention to stuff, which might not be what we want. Excuse me. What would we do? Thinking. Got that guy walking. Let's do a radio dude. I don't also want them all to be like just stacked up here like, you know. So I need them around. So I actually feel like they're doing stuff. So he's looking up the hole and seeing people there. Cool. And I think one more. These people don't do railings. You've been in my world enough to know these people don't do railings. And then let's rotate him around. And I want him to have an orange vest. I think by default he does not, right? Let's see, these both, let's grab these two there. And yeah, by default he's got the yellow one, but I think we can just edit the material. Yeah, they don't do seatbelts either. Upper body worker. Yep, there we go. To be fair, you ever seen anyone in Star Wars use a seatbelt? Like, come on, seatbelts aren't cool, right? No. Where'd my dude go? Yeah. Grab our three guys. Solo them. Cool. Just want to see. This one is on orange 2. So we'll make this guy orange 2 as well. There we go. And probably lower body's also orange 2. Or those are just orange. Yep. There we go. Now they're of the same team. And maybe we'll make his helmet the same color too. Helmet colors. Right now he's white. We're going to make him yellow. Cool. So now these folk are the same vibe. And the other guy is also that vibe. Cool. Excuse me. Back in. Yep, that works good. Maybe we'll put a welder on the next level up. I don't know why, but just, you know, cause what's he welding? We'll give him something. Yeah, we use this guy here. Bring him there. Come in. Alt R. Bring him up there. G Shift Z. Dot. G Control Z. GZ. Got to bring him close to the edge so we can see him. He's thinking. Let's rotate him around like that. Or maybe like this, since everyone else is kind of facing the other direction. That looks cool. Yeah, he's doing that. And maybe This could be neat. Let's say that DC, create a cable from here to here. Scale it. Kill that. Save. Now I want to simulate it, but simulating has just been slow here lately. I'm doing it on the stream. We've saved. We can try it. Let's see how it goes. Oh, it was fast this time. Cool. So now there's like a cable there. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And maybe we'll do the same thing. Create another cable from like here to Escape. Screw off. There we go. Create a cable from, I gotta do it this way, here to here. I don't want to move, probably move this edge because I want to be, yeah, over here. Not, so I can't see where it connects to exactly. Bring it up. Simulate the cable. Okay. Cool. Save that. Just so there's a little bit more stuff for people to do. Just gotta, what's this material? Because I think I'll probably use this one. It is Plastic Basic. Is that what we're calling it? It's basic. And same here. Save. Go back to layout. It should be there in the first place. I don't know why I'm editing and yeah, those help. It's a bit more something. And I think for this one, we are probably going to want some fog and some smoke just to feel like there's dust or whatever in here. And it'll give us more diffusion of the light. So yeah, let's try that now. Shift G, 1, Shift A, mesh, cylinder, 7, scale, goes to there, okay, and GZ, it goes to like there, that'll be fine. Control A, rotation and scale, move it to a new group, fog, new material, fudge, as my father would say, shading, turn off the principled, add a scatter, density, I'm just going to assume 0.05 and an anisotropy of 6. We're just gonna do something first and then we'll check it out. We're in our, okay, and then let's see if it's too little, too much. We love it, we hate it. It's a lot. I think it's gonna be a good idea, but that's a lot. Cut it to 1/10 of that. That's better. Yeah, I think that's a goodly amount. Maybe even take it to 0.01. Okay, I think that's cool. Layout, Come back in, and I think that means I might change the exposure of my camera just a little bit so it's not quite so bright. Which is in photographer, and exposure, take it from 7 back up to 8. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's looking pretty good, I think. I feel all right about that. I like our guys. I really like our pipe thing coming down the middle and what we've done to it. The fact that we didn't just leave it exactly the basic kit bash part makes me feel better. Can we adjust our camera just a little bit? Do we want to? Down just a little bit, and then make it take it from 50 to 40? 40 might be a little too much. If this looks like a massive pie to you people, I don't know what. I don't know what to tell you. Dust turned out well. Adding a little bit of fog when you got some lights is just cool. It's such a cheap trick, but it works cool. Let's see if I like this. That's a little better, I think, as a composition. Gives us a little bit more of a vibe. I'm going to add a few more things just to kind of block in the space and make it feel used. And we'll go to my tarp covered stuff, because you gotta love tarp covered stuff. And we'll put a turbine engine there. Why? I don't know. Why is there an engine here? Scale it down. Go over to it. And scale it up a bit so we can have some room. I think that'll be good. Hopefully it's far enough in you can kind of see something without it being like super glinty and in your face. Yes, that's exactly what it does. Cool. And then we'll do something again similar over, I think, here. We won't just, we're just going to jump around and grab something else, like a palette of, oh, not even a palette. Let's just do these. Yep, those feel cool. I think we can maybe think off a little bit. Yes. We don't want them sticking through the floor. Maybe scale them down a bit. But cool. Just so it feels like they're doing things down here, and that's why they're walking. And what else we want to put down here? So we got these just laying loose. Here's one with those things on a pallet. Let's put them there. Scale them down just a bit and bring it in. Bring it over here. Cool. So we have repetition of shapes, which is important. So again, because this is all stuff coming from the same people, and that would make sense. I'm going to bring in now. We're really in the like last stages kind of vibe. Put some sandbags. Because sandbags get used for all kinds of stuff. And they feel authentic, even if they're not. Like, even if there's absolutely no reason why there'd be sandbags here, we as people have come to associate that shape and that form with something like this. Who would object to a giant pie? Lots of people don't like pie. I'm more of a cake guy myself. Yeah. Let's see. Where are we at? Ooh, tarps. Yeah, they sound like me. Yeah, that works. So it's starting to really feel like it's got stuff going on. Let me move those back just a little bit from the edge. Yeah, that's better. That's my secret. I'm always hungry. Do, 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 do. What other little bits do we want to put in here? I think we want one or two more little bits. I think kind of want something like right in here. Maybe. Maybe. Just a single one of these. Scale down a bit as well. Sure. I don't want to adjust the lights too much more. Random lights would make sense, but I like the way the lighting is working in here. And I kind of like it's very top down. So we've got these lights here, and these guys have lights on their heads, and that's cool. I don't want to add too much lighting to it just because I think that might change the overall feel of things. There should be way more lights than this if this were a real scene. Like, by real meaning like real life with real people. But cinematically, I feel like it kind of works like this, and we're kind of controlling the view better. Like, if I put a light over here, you're gonna look right there, and like this is more the important area here. So, and I feel like it's lit enough. That's my vibe. All right. Well, let's just set some camera stuff. We're getting to those last 5 minutes, and yeah. Focus. What do we want to focus on here? That's an interesting question. Where's our subject? There could be lots. I think this guy here is going to be our focus. I'm going to remove that entire hierarchy now. So we can just come here and we can check our focus and our plane. Yeah, right there. So that's our focus plane. You can see this stuff out here is going to be a little out of focus in the front and behind a little back. And that works for me. Okay, so like there's a shot. I think we're good with this shot. I feel like it expresses the space that we wanted to make of an industrial cave system. Let's make another camera because we can. And I now have this weird thing where apparently I have to put 4 into every shot that I make. Why that is, I don't know. But okay. Never used to do that. And yet, here we are. So let's see if we can come in. So we can still keep some people, but see up. Like here, maybe we'll make it wider. Let's go to like 35. and take it like that. Cool. That looks cool, I think. Focus again on our dude here. Same guy, he'll be our hero character. And let's see what we got. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm digging that. That looks cool. I think we'll get something neat out of that. Let's do it again. CV, go to the new one. Now let's zoom in, as I want to do in these sorts of situations, to put an 85mm camera. And come over here. And see about, how do we feel about this as a shot? It's a little of a weird composition because they're off to the side, but I kind of dig it. And I think this might give us enough interest we can get away with it. Let's try. And if not, we'll move it. Yeah, I think that's working. Particularly if there was like something here that the next shot would be, but I feel like this is cool for a close-up of those guys. And maybe one more. I mean, we know we're gonna do one more. And we need to do a down shot because we've done an up shot now, so we clearly need to do a down shot of some kind. Pretty cool there. Go back to 35. Like that. We cut the absolute bottom of it off, which might make our lives easier. And by might, I mean it will make our lives easier. And let's see. I think it's too bright, but I think it'll work. So for this one, let's cut our camera exposure down to like 10. Might still be too bright. We might have to come through and just adjust our area lights to like 50. That's too low. 100 is too low. 250, getting there. 350. Yeah, I'm not really liking it. Yeah, I don't hate it, but I'm not super into it yet. Although, yeah, it's not awful. Maybe I'm being too hard on myself. It just comes to a bottom, but it's allowed to come to a bottom. That's all right. Maybe let's just grab our camera and come up a lot. I'm gonna hide my fog. Well, actually, I'm not gonna hide my fog. I'm going to viewport display, turn it as bounds, and make it unselectable. Okay, I want to just show, oh, did I turn off the building still? Maybe it's, well, we'll see if I like it. I did really like it not seeing it before. Because if we got to, it's this shot, right? Yeah. Let's see. Do we like it with the building on it? Because we brought it up. Do we still like it? Yep, we're still like it with the building. So that's good. Because I did like that building there. And up here, now we can literally kind of come to like, we don't want to see off the side. So that's going to be our limitation. But we do something like that. It's just going to look like a kind of a mess, but maybe in a cool way. Let's see. Does it look like a mess in a cool way? I mean, yeah, kinda. Let's go a little bit more. Actually, I like having that there. That being this pillar there. Yeah, that's a cool final shot. I might tweak the lighting a little bit on it, but I feel like that's acceptable for our last shot. And we'll focus again, as is tradition, on our dude kneeling. Save. So let's look at our 4 shots. We have shot number 1. Like it. Shot number 2. I like it a lot. Number 3. Yep, that's working. Feels very slice of life. Number 4. Yep. Again, we might tweak it a little bit, but I feel like it's given us the vibe that we want. So yeah, there we go, folks. We're at time. I'm gonna call us off and finish up the renders and post them up on social media. Thanks for hanging out. I hope this was neat. It was kind of a fun thing to make the little screw terrain in the beginning. That was cool. And everything else kind of came together pretty easily, which is nice. It doesn't always do that. um, yeah, I'll be back again tomorrow. We'll figure out what it's going to be sometime between now and 7:30 tomorrow, my time. Today I thought about doing this at, I don't know, 7:10 this morning. So, yeah, that's me, always prepared. Well, I'm glad it's enjoyable, Anime. I have fun doing it. It's cool, and I'm glad you folks are here to talk to. It does make it, go by easier. Um, yeah, thanks again. If you're watching this later, please like and subscribe. I mean, everyone always says that, and no one ever does it, but still, gotta say it. And I'll see you.